Hi everybody, this is Peter. Today I'm going to be showing you how to play the board game The Hustlers, which is a game of 9-ball pool, and it was developed by Brien Martin and published by Hot Stove Games, and the game is available through the ASG Games website. Yeah, I'll just get right into this. Game comes with Rulebook, 9 pages of rules, and I just want to say that Brian's rules are fantastic. I have several of his games. I also have his Shot Rock curling game and his On the Green golf game, which he doesn't publish anymore. But the rule books and those 3 games are excellent. Very easy to follow, and with examples, and very well organized. And then you also get the game board here, and you get a set of FAQ cards. There's 108 of these, and I have the PDF version, so I printed these out myself. I sort of recycled some old cards that I had, so that's why there's stuff on the back of them. It's not blanks, so hopefully that's not distracting. And you get a list of pool players, greatest hustlers of all time with the game: 22 men, 16 women, and they're just rated for shot rating and a position rating. And there's also a fictional player set that's available as well. I'll post the link to the ASG Games website below the video. So the game takes one game of pool, and this game takes about 5 to 10 minutes to play, depending on how many misses or fouls and scratches there are. It can be as little as 5 minutes. It can be 10 or 15 minutes a game. So on average, it's like 5 to 10 minutes. So yeah, so we'll just get started here. So before the match, you have to determine what ratings the players have, if there's going to be a variation versus the ratings that you have on the sheet here. So I'm going to pick a couple of male hustlers here. Irving Crane, the Deacon. So his shot rating is an A. And so I just flip a FAQ and we look at the random number here. There isn't one in that. There isn't one in that either. Oh my goodness. Okay. That little star means it's a suspense result. Here we go, 67. So so 67, and we look on this. We look on a chart, and what's called the form position chart. And for an A-rated person with a shot rating of A, 67 corresponds to an A. So 10% chance he'll be rated as low as a B for this match. So he's an A, so I use a yellow token to indicate that. And then now we see what his position rating is going to be. 98. And normally he's an A, 98. So he's going to be a B position rating instead of an A for this match. And then we use to see what his actual shot, his shooting rating is going to be as a number. So we look at the shooting chart in A, and we draw 48, and that means he's going to have a rating of 88 for this match. Okay, so now we'll go with his opponent. Let's say that's Luther Lassiter, aka Wimpy. So, okay, Lassiter is a shot rating of A, and we draw an 83, so that's an A as well. 96 for his position rating. Normally he's a position C, and 96 corresponds to a D, so he has a considerably weaker position rating. That's just an indicator of what position he leaves the ball in after he makes a shot. Okay, and then we're going to see what his shooting rating is going to be. So 25 with a shot rating of A, and that's going to be 89. So they're pretty much equal. There might be some modifiers to this. There are modifiers to this in each shot. So I just left the board here just to show the balls here. But what I do is I just use these indicators to show which balls are still on the table. And as I go through, I'll just move them over to the corresponding places to show which balls have been sunk by the player, the corresponding player. I just want to show you what the different sections are on the fact cards. Top here is a sunk on break. This tells you how many balls get sunk on the break. So it's going to be either 0, 1, 2, or 3. This tells you which numbered balls get sunk on a break. So for instance, if the previous fact said 3 for up here, you would check the 3 sunk section, and it would be the number 2, number 6, and number 7 balls would be sunk already on the break. The break CBV, which is the break cue ball value, is just the number showing what the cue ball value is after the break. So that's what that is. These numbers here are the for the 9 balls on the table, and these are the object ball values. So these are modifiers to the shooter's rating. The C here means like if you're going for the 1 ball, the C here means you were going to try a combination shot where the cue ball would hit the 1 ball, and the 1 ball would hit the 4 and try to sink the 4 ball. This section here is you have a random number from 1 to 100. If you get a star result here, that's a suspense result. And then if you get a suspense result, you flip the fact, and then you read the text beside the random number. The bottom section here is the cue ball value for the next shot. So this happens at the end of the shot sequence. So after a player makes the shot attempt, you would use their position rating, which is a letter rating, which you'll find out about, and whether they make or miss the shot. And then there's a modifier, and that's called the cue ball value for the next shot. So that this use this section for all the regular shots other than the break. Otherwise, from the break, you use this number up here. So what you do is to start off, you're going to sort of draw a fact for the break, and then we just draw and we look at the random number and compare it to their shot rating, and whichever one is closest to their shot rating without going over will take the break. So 73, 88, so the difference there is 15, and for here it's 59, so he's a lot closer. That's Irving Crane, so Crane will be at the table doing the break. So on the break, you look at the sunk on break section at the top, and it means that he's sunk 1 ball. We flip another fact, and we look under the 1 sunk to see which ball he sunk. So he sank the 8 ball, so I'll just move the 8 ball over to him to show that the 8 ball's been sunk. And then what you do is you look at something called this break CBV. CBV stands for cue ball value, so it's just an indicator of how what position the cue ball is in relative to the rest of the balls on the table. So the range is usually from -5 to +5, with the plus ratings meaning it's going to be a more difficult position. So the break CBV is a +3, so I'll just put that there. And then he's going to be going for the 1 ball. So in this game, in 9 ball, you sink the balls sequentially, starting with the 1 ball. So we flip the fact and we look at the number 1, and we see +6. So that becomes the object ball value, or OBV. So we have +3 and +6, and we subtract those from the player's shooting rating. So 88 -6 is 82, -3 is 79. So we flip the fact, and if the number is 79 or less, then he's made the shot. Otherwise, he's missed the shot. So we have right away, we have a star here, which means a suspense. So we flip another fact, and we read the text next to the random number, and he's a scratch. He's made a scratch, which means he's sunk the cue ball at the same time. Sorry, just a minute. I just have to check on something. Yeah. So that was the number 1 ball. It got sunk, but he scratched. So so you have to keep track of the number of scratches, especially if a player scratches 3 times in a row, then he automatically loses the game. Okay, so that means Luther Lassiter is at the table, and he's going to be shooting at the 2 ball. So what you do there is you draw a fac and you look at this cue ball section at the bottom, and to see what the cue ball value is going to be for the next shot. And you use the position rating of the shooter who just attempted their shot. So his rating is a B, and you look under the miss because he missed it. Well, actually, since he actually sunk the ball, I guess you call it a make. So it's -5. So -5 means that's in a very good position to make the next shot. I'm not sure if I'm doing that properly, but I think it is, because he did sink the ball he was after, but he also scratched. Okay, so you've got the cue ball value for the next shot, and then we flip over here and we look at the number 2, because the 2 ball is going to be the next one, and it's +9. So that's +9 -5. So you subtract the number. So since you're subtracting a negative, it's actually adding to the shooter's rating. So -5 is actually, subtracting -5 is actually +5. So that's +89 is 94, but you're subtracting 9, so that's 85. So the chance of getting this is 85. You draw the fact, the number is an 8, so he's made the shot. He's sunk the 2 ball. And then we just keep going for him. So we flip the fact and get the cue ball value. His position rating is a D, and he's made it. So the cue ball adjustment is +3. So he's going to go for the 3 ball next. The 3 ball OBV is +5. So +5 and +3 is +8. Subtracting that from 89 is 81. And 86, he's missed it. So I'll just put that as a miss. And then, so we just look to see what happens with the cue ball value. So it was a D and it was a miss, so +5 is the cue ball value for the next shot. And he's going to be going for the 3 ball, the number 3 ball, and that's +6. So +6 and +5 is 11. Subtracted from 88 is 77. And 76, he just makes it. So sunk the 3 ball. Flip to see what the cue ball value is. He's a B and he made it, so it's a +4. And then he's going to be going for the 4 ball. And the object ball value is +4. So +4 and +4 is +8. Subtracted from 88 is 80. And 04, he sunk the 4 ball. So he's just rolling along here. We made it, so -3 is the CBV. And he's going after the 5 ball, +7. So 88 minus, subtracting -3, so that's +3, in fact 91, -7 is 84. 80, he sinks the 5 ball. Okay, now the winner of the game is the one who sinks the 9 ball, and that can happen at just about any time. Sometimes, as you can, let me see if I can get one here. Yeah, okay. So say, well, let's get the, So say we've got that, and we're going, say the 6 ball is next. The C9 means that it's going to be a combination shot. So what he's going to try to attempt is hit the 6 ball, which will then hit the 9 ball and try to sink the 9 ball. And when that happens, you add a plus 10 to the OBV. So it just makes it a more difficult shot. You're in effect subtracting 10 from the shooter's rating. Now you can do that. You can call it. You can wait for something like that, or if there's 3 balls left on the table, you can decide, okay, I'm going to try to sink the 9 ball in this combination shot. And you have to call that before you flip to see what the object ball value is for the shot. So in that case, you would flip the FAC, and you would look at the 9, because that's the one you're effectively trying to sink, and you would just add the +1 to that. And if it was a combination shot, it would be added 10 to that, so it'd be plus 11 would be the object ball value for that type of shot. But we'll just keep going here. So he's just going to go for the 6 ball next. So let's get the cue ball value from the previous shot, and that one is a make, so it's +2. And he's going to go for the 6 ball. 6 ball +6. So +6 and +2 is +8. And so 80 is the number. 34, sunk the 6 ball. Okay, he's going to go for the 7 ball next. So -3 is the cue ball value. 7 ball +1. So 88, subtracting -3 is 91, -1 is 90, 19, yeah. So he sinks the 7 ball, so he just has the 9 ball left. And so cue ball value is +3, 9 is +5, so it's going to be a somewhat tricky shot. So +3 and +5 is +8. And 80, 27. So he sinks the 9 ball and wins the game. So that's it. That's one game. That's how you play the game. I can't remember if we had. I think we had a scratch rate at the beginning, but so let's say you could have a result where you can have a thing where you've made, the person appears to have made the shot, but you haven't quite. The shot sequence ends with drawing the card to get the cue ball value for the next shot. Because so sometimes you can have. I'll show you here. Okay, yeah. So say this player here with a B, and he missed his shot. You see SC. That means he's scratched on that shot. So what happens when a scratch happens is the other ball. The other player, it's going to be his turn, obviously, but he gets to place the ball. He has the ball in hand. He gets to place the ball anywhere on the table. And to indicate that, the cue ball value for that shot is a -20. So in effect, you're adding 20 to the shot, the player's shot rating. So say it was this player here. Say this guy scratched. This one had 20 added to his, so it would be 109, and then minus whatever the object ball value number is. So yeah, so it gives them a much greater chance of making the shot. Yeah, I guess I'll just go through the combination thing just to be just so you know how that works. So say this player here want to sink the 5 ball next, and it says C6. So what you do is you would draw and you would look at 6, the 6 ball, and see it was +4. That would be the object value of +4. But then you would add 10 to that, so because of the combination shot. So you'd be +14 would be the object ball value. If you had, and this can happen multiple times. So you could have, 5, and this says C6, and then on the 6 you could draw something that's combination with another ball. So for every combination that you have, you're adding +10. So if you had, say, like a 3 ball combination total, where 2 balls hit the final ball that's going in, you'd be adding +20 as a base object ball value plus whatever the final one says. Yeah, so that's the game. It seems a little daunting to learn, but it's not that bad. I forgot to mention that the game does come with this player aid with the key concepts, and that's my writing there. I just added some notes, and then I ended up making my own quick reference card. But this player aid, it really helps a lot, and that this is where the match rating charts for shooting and form position are, and this really helps a lot to learn the game. So anyways, it's a fun little game. Like I said, very easy to learn. Brien mentions in the rules that statistics for 9-ball pool players are very scarce, so that's why there's only not a lot of players here to rate. But at the end of the rules, he does have a chart for if you want to rate your own players. So, for instance, if you want to rate somebody, give somebody a shot rating of A, he said these shooters will generally make between 86 to 90% of their shots. And position rating of A generally leaves themselves great shots, leave opponents bad shots. And then, so you have shot ratings going from A to E, position ratings going from A to E. So, like the shot rating of E, for instance, is 66 to 70% of the shots. So yeah, you can make up your own players, and have tournaments and stuff like that, and that's it. So yeah, usually in a match in 9-ball pool is made up of a series of games, odd number of games. So it's like, best of 7, best of 9, best of 11. I think it's usually best of 11. So you would just play until somebody wins 6 games. And then for the break after the first game, I've read that it varies. So sometimes some tournaments say the winner of the previous game breaks the next game, or sometimes it's a loser of the previous game breaks, or that. So it's up to you as long as you're consistent. So anyway, that's the Hustlers, available from ASG Games under the Hot Stove Games section. And if you have any questions, just leave your comments below the video, and thanks for watching.